Welcome everybody to this month's version of our project tutorial. Our project this month is an edge lit sign. It's an LED sign. Can be used as a gift, as a nightlight, as a desk ornament, whatever. And you can make it personalized. You can make it anything you want. So this is how I created the acrylic part of this particular project. So we open a new file. We're going to do an 8x8 acrylic sheet. It's 0.22 inches thick. We're going to do on the material surface. Our datum position is going to be in the middle, okay, in the center. And everything else is pretty, and it's single-sided. So we have this here like this. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. You could sit there and hand draw whatever you want to draw with figures or whatever, but I chose to cheat a little bit. I went out and went on the internet and got myself an EPS file of Santa Claus in the chimney. So I'm going to import him, and here's my Santa Claus in the chimney. Now, sometimes when you import some of these files, the vector graphics on them can be pretty intense. So what you may want to do is look at how many nodes are in it. And as you can see here, that there's a bazillion nodes here. Well, you come over here to this curve fit icon and click on it. And what it's going to allow you to do is make this either into straight lines, Bezier curves, or a circular arc. I usually go for Bezier curves, especially if they're not really straight. Even though it's a block, it's not really a straight block. I leave the tolerance for whatever they've got it. And I preview it to see how much difference there's going to be. And quite honestly, it's just about the same thing. So what I can do is you could either exit back out and then say replace the selected vector, and what it will do is automatically select it when you preview it, and it got rid of the old one and it left the new one. And you notice how many less nodes there is. The less nodes there is, the faster it's going to actually render, and a lot of the times it picks up your processing speed too for the cutting of it. And the reason for that is that it basically says I'm going to go from here to here, and it's either an arc, a straight line, or whatever. So that's one way you can clean these things up. So if you're happy with the cleanup on it, which I'm pretty happy with Santa and going into the chimney and stuff here. So now the slot in my base is 7 inches. So what I would do on this particular one is that I might scale him down just a little bit more. Well, no, maybe not. I'll just leave him there like that. But I still have to put a base in here. And my bases, like I said, are 7 inches wide. And I usually make them about a ½ inch tall. So I can set here and put 0.5 is my Y height, and I can put 7 is my width, and say apply. Now another thing you really want to kind of pay attention to on this, especially if you're going to try to make things aesthetically right, I'm going to put Mr. Santa Claus here in the middle. Okay, see how it shifted it over? Now when I put my base over, everything is symmetrical with the base, and I don't have to worry about it kind of looking lopsided or something like that. So I've got my base done, and this is going to be the base. Now I don't want this thing just to have this big wide base. It kind of makes it look kind of clunky. So since this is an outside parameter on this whole thing, what I'm going to do is use that to my advantage. Now if it didn't have that, you could go around here and draw a line around and make your outside parameter. But I kind of like this one the way it is. But what I'm going to do, and the reason I'm doing this is, for instance, for the light to get from here up to this hand and really illuminate this hand correctly, it's got to go like this. Well, light doesn't really go around corners. It goes in straight lines. So it would be, any light got over here, this part here might not be illuminated very well. So what I'm going to do is, since I do have the width available to me, I would just basically take and draw a line from about here to here and kind of give it a graceful curve. Okay. And you could do it one of two things. I could set there, since I have this on the center line, I could click on that and say I want to flip that horizontally and create a mirrored one. See, it puts it over here. Now all I have to do is extend this line. Okay, all I have to do is extend this line, so I can go into nodes, take this line and bring it right up to here. Okay, now my two sides are pretty symmetrical. Okay, now what I can do is come in here, cut this away, cut this away, and look it. Cut it away here, cut this away, cut this away, cut this away. Now I can come over to here, cut here, and it comes all the way here. Now this is all one continuous line around. That looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. Now, if I wanted to put some kind of saying underneath this or something, I would have made him a little bit smaller so I could have more space underneath it or whatever. Or we could just, in the space available, just put something like ho ho. Okay. And, you know, we can use anything that you want. As far as the script goes, I like True Font, which is fine. I can go ho ho and then just sit there and say close. And now I can put this guy anywhere I want it, and I can rotate it or whatever. Okay, let's say I like that one there, but I want to mirror this over to the other side. I can do that. I can flip it horizontally. And what else can I do? I could set there, turn it around. So I got ho ho on it. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Now what do? We're all okay here. So what's the next thing we got to do? Well, we got to come up with some toolpaths. I'm happy with the way everything looks. So I need some toolpaths. Now, I have found that using the quick engrave seems to work pretty good. Okay, I put it at 1/1000th of an inch, and I can do outline or fill, whatever I want, and I select a 60 degree V-bit. Okay, pass depth, I put the pass depth, well, let's put it okay. Now I can go into edit and change the path depth for this particular function, and I'm going to put it really low. And the reason being is I want this number here to get a couple passes. So if I say OK, what it's going to do is it's going to have to take 2 passes to get to there, which I have found works out pretty good. Then I calculate, then I, you know, gotta align everything that I want, and I can calculate it. Okay. The other thing that I also do is I always do this outside line too. And the reason for it is it makes it, when I cut it out, a lot cleaner. So I will calculate everybody. Say closed. There's my quick engrave. Now if I look at it here, make my globe color, toolpath color so you can actually see it. I can, and you notice it comes out to where it's really hard to see. It's because I'm only going down 1/1000th of an inch. Believe me, it will come out okay, even though you can hardly see it here. Okay. Now, let's suppose I want to add a little bit more dimension to this guy. Another thing I can do is I can go into quick engrave again and highlight all the brick. Okay. And unhighlight these mortar joints here. Highlight all the brick, and now I can go in and fill them with a hatch. I don't care. I'm going to make it 2/100ths of an inch for the hatch. Calculate it. These are two open vectors, so if I want them to become with hatch on them, I'm going to have to close them in, which means I have to work this part right here, which is fine, and we can do that, but I'm not going to work with it right now. And let's say I want these guys also to be like that. Calculate them, and now they will be. So when I look at them, now they're going to be filled in. It's going to give it some texture. Okay. Now, like I said, on this one here, to get the other bricks done, I'm going to have to go in and close these in. And you can do this one of two ways. We can make these a whole bunch of broken lines, or I can just sit there and go in here and take my tool here, get to the corner, come somewhere along here, hook up to the corner here, and then join these two together. Okay. Still saying it's an open one. I'm not too sure where that is at. Probably right here. This is probably where my open is at. Okay. Close it up. And I should be able to use that now and use it as a calculator. And it did. It closed it up. So, I'm all set to go. And all I got to do is add to the other ones. So I've got that toolpath saved. Okay. If I go in and click all the other blocks, tell it to calculate. It's going to tell me I got open ones. I already knew that. And as you can see, it fills them in. So I'm done with that. Now what do? Is I save these files. You'll make sure you have the correct post processor. Save the toolpath, and it's going to go to your file, say save, then go to the other one, make sure you've got the correct path, save it. That's your other engraving file. The last file that we got to dork with is the profile to cut it out. Come up here, go to profile. We're going to use an 1/8 inch end mill. Say OK. Want to go down 0.23 because we got a 0.22 thick piece of plastic. We want to be on the outside. Go ahead and calculate it. It's going to say maximum tool depth, blah blah blah. We know that. And now it's going to, if I preview that step, it's going to cut it out. I usually don't put tabs on it because tabs are really hard to sand off this plastic. What I'll do is either double stick it down so it doesn't go anywhere, or what I've been doing is using a vacuum hold down. So that seems to work pretty decent. Now this is my acrylic all done. Save the program, save the file. We'll save the file, and we will call this Santa in Chimney. And save it, and it's ready for the next time. I also put what they are in my toolpaths, so when I go to do them, I know what my toolpaths are. Okay, and that's what we got for doing the... Okay, now that we're done with the acrylic, we are ready to go on and do the base. And I'm just going to go and load the base file itself. And the reason being to save me a little time here. So I have that base file in my signs. It's under base. Here's my file. And here's the base. Okay. The base, quite honestly, is no more than a big rectangle. Okay. And that's how I ended up originally making it. Is I made 2 boxes for the outline. It's in green here. 1 box here and 1 box here for the basic outline of it. And then I took that, and this side here, this side here, this side here, this side here is what we cut with a 90-degree V-groove bit. Well, we don't cut all the way through. What we do is cut partially way through, and what that does is allow us to be able to fold the box together like a piece of cardboard. And then we cut grooves to put the bottom in, and we cut the slot in for the plexiglass or the acrylic glass. Then the holes are for the eye and the 12-volt plug, and then finally the final outline. So over here I have the V-groove path, the pocket path, the side rabbets, the counter bore for one of the holes, the 2 holes, and then the profile. So if we look at all of this and preview it, this is what you end up with. Okay? So we'll put glue in this area here, in this area here, this area here, and fold it all together just like a box with tape. And if you want to see that procedure, go to the video and you can see it, the assembly and finishing video. Well, that's all I have on the designing of this project for this month. My name is Rick Frazier. It's been my pleasure to be here with you. I hope you watch the next video, which is on the machining, and the two videos following that, which are on assembly and finishing. So see you when we come back.